They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
you
dogs.
know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years, and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I've wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.
We're back.
We're back. I was going to say, like, is my internet going to be stable this week? Because it hasn't been great. For those like, oh, just move closer to the router. That's what this is. I am literally as close to the router as I could be without putting it inside of me.
And unlike Kev, I actually have mine connected directly to the router. So,
yeah, you know what? That would be great if Apple wasn't a bad company that doesn't have an Ethernet port on their laptops. I might have to switch to my other laptop, which sucks because this is all my editing software on it.
The dichotomy of man.
Well, I guess I could record on that and then just download it onto this. That might be the move. I was concerned about transferring it between the two, but if I'm just recording on that and then go onto this same site and download it, I think that'll be it, Ciarnan. We've solved my issue.
Yeah, there you go. Fantastic.
But we're back another week closer to week 0. Are you feeling it in your bones, Ciarnan?
I am. It's going to be so great.
It is. I'm feeling it somewhere. I wouldn't call it my bones, but I'm getting a
bone.
tingling feeling somewhere. That's true. And then I've been feeling great all week. We get to record again. I love recording. And then I saw something that just ruined my entire mood. I had to agree with something Danny Cannell said. I never thought that would happen. For those who didn't see, Danny Cannell tweeted out, I've been very vocal for the past 15 years trying to expand the playoffs, but going past 12 teams after just 2 years feels rushed and irrational. I am now anti-expansion. Let's keep it a 12. 16-team model will make regular season and conference championship games irrelevant. Yeah, stop changing it every 2 years.
It does feel like that.
We had
It does feel chaotic.
We had the poll system forever, where that was all that mattered. That had its issues. Don't get me wrong. Some teams claimed national titles that lesser polls were giving them. Other schools weren't claiming things they maybe could have. It was a mess. So then we got the Bowl Coalition and then the BCS. So we had that for around 20 years. A little bit less, but around 20 years we had that, or not exactly. And then we had the 14 playoff. And some people said from the get-go, well, this is just going to, the number 5 team is now going to complain. And the number 5 and 6 is going to complain. And then we're going to expand again, and it's just going to be too much. And then they expanded last year to the 12-team model. And now we're already looking at going to 16 teams. This is insane. Because some conferences, and again, we are fans of those conferences, think that they're always going to be better than everyone else, so they need their 4 guaranteed spots. These 2 conferences need to take up half of the field. No, it's insane. It's ridiculous, and I hate it here.
Yeah, we're getting almost repetitive week in, week out here now with the expansion, with portal talk. And it's just, I mean, like, it's one of those things that change is good. Like, overall change is good for a sport. The NIL, we both agreed that athletes should be paid and things like that. But if it's changing faster than we can comprehend it, it's no longer a fun or achievably enjoyable time. Like, I have to now debate whether I'm looking at 12 or 16 teams. Head coaches need to plan for basically a lottery system. Provided you're in the top 25, yeah, sure. Now there's a realistic spot that you're playing for a national championship. You might not make it past the first round, but you still have to prepare. And don't get me wrong, these guys are playing out of their skin week in, week out. It is asking for more injuries, more loss of revenue, especially once they get drafted. And, and the likelihood that the boosters of particular teams are just going to get more and more powerful and bring in better and better recruits. And then we're going to have the problem of it's not the coach winning, i.e. Nick Saban all the time. It's now just the school with the most money. It's as simple as that. So these issues are reinforcing themselves, and it's just a mess.
Yeah. And I agree with everything you said, except it's not progressing at an incomprehensible level. I can very much comprehend what they're doing. It's just stupid. And back to the thing everyone always talks about, it's going to devalue the regular season and the conference championship games. I think conference championship games are already devalued.
Yes.
And not every team that has won a national title has won their conference championship, but they were the best every other week. They lost one late season game, missed it, whatever. If you believe what Ohio State fans are saying, Ohio State intentionally lost to Michigan. I don't necessarily believe that, but they're saying Ohio State intentionally lost to Michigan to avoid playing in their conference championship to get an extra week of rest and not have to, or get a better seating arrangement. So that's already devalued. And the concern is you're going to see these teams go, well, there's 16 teams. The SEC or the Big Ten is getting 4 of them. I don't need to try. I can sleepwalk my way to 8 wins, be one of the 4 best teams in the conference, and then make the playoffs and go on a run. And if anyone's going, oh, no team would do that, we've seen it at the professional level in other sports. Tottenham this year in the Prem essentially went early on, we're not winning the Prem this year, so we're not going to not going to try, but we're not going to play our best players. We're going to give them rest, and then we're going to go win the Europa. I think it was. They won their first trophy in forever. It happens in professional sports, which college football is slowly becoming. And on top of that, this is a secondary point about college becoming professional. Some people are saying, oh, college has never been more popular. Yeah, because you're taking away what college is.
Right.
What college athletics are. They are supposed to be hyper-regional, deep, long-seated hatred for your rivals, not, well, we need to get a 16-team conference because that's how the NFL does it and get national. No, the SEC is for the South. The ACC is for the Atlantic Coast. The Big Ten is for the big farm boys and girls in the Midwest. The Big 12 is for the people in the American Southwest. The what?
The Plains.
The Plains. Yeah, it's better because some of your schools. And the Pac-12 is for the Pacific Coast.
Yes.
The fact that we have California schools in the ACC still pisses me off every morning, Ciarnan. I wake up every day and I'm like, Jesus Christ, why is Stanford in the ACC? And it just ruins my day.
It's progressively getting worse. And you're like, first of all, have to say, love the Tottenham shout out reference. Thank you very much. But you're 100% correct. The other thing that was the biggest like devaluing ever since the college football playoff was the bowl games. Granted, sure, if you're in the GoDaddy Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona, you're not going to win a national championship, but at least it meant something more than it did before the playoffs happened. And now it's completely ruined the rest of the conference games, essentially back all the way till the conference championship. It's basically saying, yeah, you don't really need to try. If you lose intentionally, so be it. You get a better seating for yourself. You rest your guys, whatever. To that end, Ohio State fans, you did not lose, or you did not intentionally lose that game against Michigan. They outplayed you on defense, and suck it, because that game was awesome to watch from a Penn State fan's perspective. But yeah, it is the classic case of devaluing constantly the actual things that make college football college football.
Agreed. And this really epitomizes the devaluing of college football and what makes college football. This is on Twitter, a high-speed rail connecting various conferences.
Oh my God.
And it's like, look, the SEC, okay, fine. The ACC should not be going to California. The Big Ten is just all over the place. Yeah, it's
literally taking up the most amount of territory.
Yeah, it's doing something all right. I can't even tell what conferences these are.
Yeah. I need a whole legend.
I would very much struggle with this. And for those who are listening to the audio podcast, go look up Sykotyk, SYKOTYK on Twitter /X. They are the one who posted it, and it's disgusting. It's just as disgusting as you are picturing right now. I would recommend removing any and all small children from the room before looking at this. Maybe even remove them from the building you're in, because it's that grotesque and disgusting.
This is a graphic image, ladies and gentlemen. So 18 and up only, please.
Yes.
I would strongly recommend against the 18-year-olds.
25 and up, and already come into it with some trauma that will cancel this out, because otherwise you will be getting trauma. So that, I didn't expect that to become me yelling.
But it's good. That's what makes this a podcast.
That's fair. That's what makes us. But speaking on college football playoff expansion, your dumbass commissioner, Ciarnan, Tony Petitti, said, if you're 6-3 in the Big Ten, I would argue that's a good schedule. If you stumble in the non-conference, I don't think that should disqualify you. Ciarnan, as a Big Ten fan, what are your thoughts on Tony's comments here?
If you go 6-3, and I am about to retract what I'm already going to say, because there are a lot of 6-3 teams in the Big Ten. If you're a 6-3 team in the Big Ten, you don't deserve a playoff spot. Plain and simple. You don't even deserve to be in the top 25, frankly. And if you stumble in non-conference games, particularly against non-Power 4 teams, you definitely don't deserve a spot in the Big Ten, or in the playoff, excuse me. There is no reason why a team who is fighting for a legitimate chance at a playoff berth and possibly trying to make it all the way to the Natty has a 6-3 schedule at the end of the year. Not happening. I don't care how much you want your guaranteed spots. I don't care how much money you're getting from TV deals. You do not deserve it. You are not getting it. Plain and simple.
I could see a very few set of circumstances where I could ignore that. If for some reason Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are all 1, 2, 3 somehow, you're Illinois, you lose close ones to them, blow everyone out, including the non-conference, by 40 every week, and you get in as the 12th or 16th seed if they're going to 16. Okay, I get it. They're the 3 best teams in the country. You played them tight. Fine. But that's also saying, if you're 6-3 in the Big Ten and you also lose a non-conference game, no. No. If you lose 3 games, you'd better hope you're winning all the other ones by 50.
At minimum. Like you said, pretend that Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan were the 3 best teams. If you're scheduling Alabama, Georgia, and then you beat Ohio State and Michigan, I'm gonna grant you the fact that you could probably play in the playoffs. But if you're losing to Bowling Green, you're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, and Greg Sankey is part of the same issue. I'm not saying this is a Big Ten issue, but these two conferences think they're much more important than they are. Like, look, the SEC and the Big Ten historically are probably two of the two best conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you go decade by decade, I know the Big 12 had its moment, or actually, no, the Big 12 never had a moment. It was other conferences that the schools left to join the Big 12 while after they had their moment. The Pac-12 very much had its moment. And we are saying 40% of Power 5. So I get it. However, they cannot set up this system. So in 20, 30, 50 years, they're not going to still be this much better than everyone else. I hope not, or else college football is broken, which it already kind of is. There needs to be some sort of equity and equality in the playoffs, or none at all. Either we're going to say, Power 4, you each get 3, and then we're going to do 4 others. Or nobody gets anything. Top 5 ranked champions, or just top rankings. Like, it should not be conference by conference because it changes every year.
Right. Like you said, like you can have down years for the SEC, like maybe Georgia and Alabama just fall off after, say, Kirby Smart retires, say Kalen DeBoer isn't as good anymore, right? Whatever the case may be. And then you could have, weirdly some insane booster from the Pac-12 or whatever come back and just spend a ludicrous amount of money for people to play in sunny California. And then I was going to say USC because they're now in the Big Ten, but like, for example, a couple of years ago, if that was the drive, play in sunny California, we have all this money and cash we'll throw at you, you might have a USC champion, right? So I think it's one of these things that, like, while the Big Ten and the SEC are correct in the fact that they have long-standing traditions of success, nothing is constant. So things will happen where they'll have down years and they'll have problems and so on and so forth. And some schools and people might not be able to recover from that.
Yeah, I hate it. Rhett Lashley, SMU's head coach, doesn't quite agree with you, Ciarnan, on the SEC's history.
Oh no,
he said I know everyone was really hoping to hear what Rhett Lashley had to say about this. Some SMU fans could be pissed. Like, we made the playoffs. Like, I've been a big SMU supporter on this show. The Pony Express is incredible. I love Peruna, but Rhett Lashley needs to shut up. The SEC has had the same 6 schools win the championship since 1964. He said, not a single one has been different since 1964. That's top heavy to me. That's not depth. Okay,
buddy. That's like 90% of conferences, even without the Power 4.
Yeah, it's insane. And North
Dakota State has won the last 11 SCS ones, barring one, I think.
It has evened itself out a little bit.
Fair enough. Sorry.
No, you're right. For a while, that was the case. Now it's North Dakota State and South Dakota State trading off, basically.
Fair enough.
But I'm looking at this. Alabama and Arkansas in 64 because of the poll system. So there's 2. We'll give Arkansas that. They don't have much else going on for them. Alabama again, 65. We're still at 2. We're not going to count Tennessee's because Tennessee sucks.
Georgia shouldn't. Them.
Yeah. I'm just going through. It's still, I'm not saying he's wrong, but I just want to confirm it with my own eyes. Arkansas was very good and just not the best. Seeing a lot of Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia. There's 3. Florida sort of has one in 84. They had other ones. So Florida, Georgia, LSU, Auburn. I'm at 7 by my count. By the way, if we're including Arkansas. Tennessee, there's a real one from Tennessee. So that's a real 7. And that's not counting Texas and Oklahoma because those were not in the SEC. I think it's dumb schools trying to claim that history. So first off, you're wrong. But also, the SEC has 16 teams, I think. You're saying about half the conference. And I would not call that top heavy just because Arkansas and Miss State and Vandy are not good. And also Ole Miss won one. So that is 8. That is half the conference as it stands today. No, that was 1960 though. So 7. We're back to 7. It's insane. Kieran, do you have thoughts on Brett Lashley before I go on a tangent that lasts the rest of the show?
No, but just to kind of further my point about the whole top-heavy conference, I'm going to read off the last 10 titles for North Dakota State. They all happened within the past 15 years. 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 21, and 24. And in between those, only James Madison and South Dakota State have won each, and at least one each, and then South Dakota State won 22 and 23. But, that's a top-heavy league. You're having one kind of 2 teams trading national championships. That's not exactly a parity, if you will.
Yeah, it's not great. North Dakota State was a powerhouse, though, and I think that's awesome.
No. I'm not saying it's not fun.
Oh no, I'm not.
Watch. I'm just saying, if you're going to depth is an issue everywhere, not just the SEC, and it's not even an issue in the SEC either.
No, it's very much not. But the SEC just keeps catching strays. Curt Cignetti, we figured we'd adopt an SEC scheduling philosophy when confronted about his cowardice to not schedule Power 5 schools for the next 5 years. Ken, what are your thoughts on Cignetti's comments?
You're digging yourself a bigger grave. Stop.
Yeah, and I want to shed some light on this with what Chris Marler at Vern_Funquist on Twitter put together, because I don't want to take credit for it, but future schedules. And this is just some of the schools. Alabama will play at least 2 Power 4 non-conference every year from 2025 to 2034. These include Oklahoma State, Arizona, North Dakota, Ohio State, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, West Virginia, Florida State, Boston College, and Minnesota. Georgia will play at least 2 Power 4 non-conference every year from 2026 to 2034. We'll play 3 Power 4 non-cons in 3 of the next 9 years. These are including some of them: NC State, Clemson, Florida State, Ohio State, Georgia Tech, and Louisville. South Carolina, 2 Power 4 teams every year until 2031. They will play 4 teams. I'm not sure about that one. But again, Power 4, I can't read that. 2025, 2033, Florida will play at least 2 Power 4 teams in 7 out of those 9. We'll play 3 Power 4 teams, 11 total, in 2 of those 7. Notre Dame, Miami, Florida State, Colorado, Arizona State, UCF. And that's just some of them. And then Indiana, 0 Power 4 opponents, 0 road games, 4 FCS opponents in the next 5 years. 2 of their 7 FBS opponents had winning records in 2024. The only SEC school not playing Power 4 non-conference opponent, I think, is Ole Miss, because Wake Forest paid them not to play. I'm not sure it was Wake Forest, but someone paid them not to play. So Curt Cignetti's a bitch, and I hate him. And Kenan, we're going to do a fun new game on the show.
Fantastic. What are we doing?
It's called Take a Drink every time Curt Cignetti pisses you off.
Oh, crap. I'm almost out.
I would be blackout drunk if that was a real game we played.
And it's such a fall from grace too, because last year we were all in on Curt Cignetti because he led that Indiana team to a great year. They won big games when it mattered. They did lose a couple, to the notables of the likes of Michigan, Ohio State, whatever. But ultimately, he had a great season, and just the complete change of face that he's done in the last not even like 2 months. He has managed to alienate everybody from supporting Indiana and at least wanting them to see them do well to going, actually, your coach is kind of a dick and his takes are terrible. So now I kind of hope you lose. Good luck, Hoosiers.
Yeah, they very quickly become villains.
Yeah.
Without winning anything, which is hilarious. That's how unlikable Curt Cignetti is, Indiana fans. You guys did not win anything. Lost to every team you played who was half decent, and y'all are now hated. So, shout out Curt, man. No one thought he could do it, but he's just that big of a dick. But moving on, away from the Big Ten, even though this is technically our Big Ten Media Day preview, that's where all these topics come from, we're going to shift focus to the Big 12, where Memphis allegedly offered $200 to $250 million to the Big 12 to join and said they would not take any TV money for the next couple of years. And the Big 12 said, no, thank you. We are all set. Should Memphis be offended?
No. Well, yes, they can be offended by themselves, but they should also be outrageously embarrassed because that is the biggest turn up our nose at offer I've ever heard. It's like, here's $250 million. We'll gladly not take any TV rights on our way down. And yet, what, you get rejected? Like, what, did they give a reason for rejecting them? Like, that wasn't obvious?
I don't think so. I think they just kind of said, oh, we're not interested.
Interested? Damn, that's wild.
Yeah. Some people are speculating when some of the Pac-12 schools wouldn't join the Big 12. Big 12's like, all right, we're good on expansion for now. But it's just not great. It's not a great look. And then Memphis does the ultimate, I thought I had more options elsewhere, but I downloaded Tinder and no one's matching with me, and posted something about the American right after. Proud member of the American Conference, built to rise. And it's just, I think Memphis might have a domination kink. Or like an embarrassment kink or something.
Yeah. Oh no, they're posting cringe.
So it's not great. It's not a great look for the Memphis Tigers, who previously were one of the better, not necessarily last year, but one of the better group of 6 schools. And now they're just getting cucked left and right.
I mean, yeah, it is pretty bad. I mean, in fairness to the Big 12, like, they do have 16 teams currently. So it's one of those things where, they're even on parity in games for that conference. Like, they don't need to, they can just schedule interconference things, and adding a 17th team wouldn't necessarily make it any harder. It was just, an interesting thing. So that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't.
Yeah, it's just not a great look for Memphis, but staying within their current conference. The American Athletic Conference is dead, Ciarnan. They have rebranded, renaming themselves the American Conference, or just the American, which I think people have been calling them for years. But usually we don't get into rebrands on this unless it's about a team. They got a cute little mascot out of it. And I present to you in all its glory, Soar the Eagle.
Electric.
I'm a big fan.
I am too, yeah. It looks great, frankly.
I would need to see how the mascot costume looks,
Mm.
But I'm a fan. I do like it.
I will say it kind of just looks like the Arizona uniform, just with a star in the middle,
Yeah,
like their red alternates or whatever they have there.
that's true. It also kind of looks like a knockoff comic book character. Like, when ESPN puts out those, oh, here's this school in comic book form. It looks like that.
Yeah.
I love it still. I think more conferences need mascots on the conference level. And that's what we're going to discuss next. What if the Power Five decided to get mascots? What would they be?
Mm.
And this is the Big Ten episode. Ciarnan, what would the Big Ten mascot be?
See, I'm kind of torn about like what it would be because there's kind of a lot of different types of areas, and I'm trying to base it off of like, it's not quite the Appalachians, it's not quite the plains, it's not quite, the river valleys of the South. So like I'm actually torn. What would it be? I feel like it would be a Bud Light and a half-lit cigarette.
I was going to go with a cow.
A cow. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, quite a lot of
when I think of the Big Ten, I think of big corn-fed farm boys from the Midwest.
Okay, so a more buff Chick-fil-A mascot.
Pretty much.
Okay, perfect. That's good.
That's do you have any other thoughts on that, or do you think that's kind of hit the nail on the head?
That's kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, now that you've said it, I wanted to do something like some sort of predatory animal, sort of like a hawk or an eagle or something like that. But I mean, the American Conference kind of has that nailed down. So,
I mean, 20 to 22 people a year are killed by cows here.
That's very true. It's more than sharks, right? Like per annum.
It's more than wolves. I can tell you that much because that was like the next. Bees take out 53. Yep.
Damn.
5 deaths worldwide from shark attacks. 22 from cows in the U.S. alone.
Probably way more elsewhere.
Yeah. Horses kill 20 people a year in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And crocodiles kill around 1,000.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
No, it does not. So, all right, next up, we'll just move on to the SEC. An alligator on meth.
Yeah, only slightly better than a can of Bud Light and a half-lit cigarette, but yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, you get the gators for Louisiana and Florida, and then you get the meth for everyone else.
So I've got one. It's a shrimp with sunglasses frying rice. I think that would be dope as hell.
Tell me if shrimp fried this rice?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Big 12. What should we make the Big 12?
Like an outlaw, like a Wild West sort of character, cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that one fits the best. ACC. I think just a nerd.
I was gonna say like you could take the two-lane wave and make it more blue and kind of have like either a cartoonish or a anthropomorphic wave.
I think that's better.
But a nerd was so explicit. Like if you said an Ivy League school and it was just a nerd, I'd get that. But like, there's a lot of disparity between the smartest and dumbest colleges in the ACC.
Yes, but when I think ACC, I think coastal elites.
Again, yeah, but I don't know. I think
Boston College is a good school. That's really it. I might just be thinking of BC. Also, I think of Rutgers because it should be in the ACC.
I know.
Rutgers and Maryland should both be in the ACC.
They should.
Not as much Maryland, but Rutgers, Boston College, Syracuse, like those northern liberal arts schools.
Yeah, fair enough. I get what you mean.
Clemson's a good engineering school, and then you have Miami's for just rich people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the vibes I get, but I think a blue wave just probably makes more sense across the board. And finally, Ciarnan, we're going to just rip the Band-Aid off and add it. We're going to go Pac-12. A marijuana leaf.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, that is actually, it's very fair. Trying to think of one that represents that whole area. Jeez.
Or a younger brother, like a little brother. Just because, I mean, Washington State and Oregon State sort of carried the flag. They were like the British during World War II. They were the only ones fighting and standing tall for a little bit, and then they got the reinforcements to come in. But they were clearly the little brothers in their states, so just a little brother.
All right. I'm going to try and think of one off the cuff here and just be like, I'm trying to use inspiration from a school there, and I'm thinking like, it's just the Stanford Cardinal, that tree that, make it a big redwood.
A little weird considering Stanford's in another conference now, but
yeah, I know, but you can take inspiration from wherever it happens, Kev. You don't need it to be explicit.
That's
no.
Fair.
I've got one better. So it's that, but the actual physical leaves are a marijuana leaf. Yeah,
perfect. They could also do a beaver cougar hybrid.
Okay.
Just pay homage to the two schools that kept the lights burning.
Or do like one of those like crests, like royal crests, and you've got the big, or the Pac-12 in like a shield, and then you've got a beaver and a cougar on either side fighting for dominance or whatever.
That's fair. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or just in that, on like the outside though, it would say "death to traitors," referring to all the schools that left the Pac.
Yes. There you go. And it's got to be in Latin too.
Oh yeah, no, of course. But that's it, Gary. Are you ready to talk some Big Ten upcoming season?
Oh yeah.
Same as last week. We're gonna just go through wins. Here's their schedule. Are we taking the over, the under? Also, we're gonna pick winners this time. We did not pick who we thought would win the SEC last week. Ciarnan, real quick, who's gonna win the SEC?
I'd say probably Georgia.
I'm gonna go with Alabama. All right. Back to Big Ten land, which apparently is the entire damn country. First up, Illinois. Over under set at 7.5. They're playing Western Illinois at Duke, Western Michigan, USC at Purdue, Rutgers, Maryland at Wisco, Northwestern at Indiana, Ohio State, and at Washington. Ciarnan, over under 7.5 wins.
I think under. Despite Illinois' success last year, I don't think that is consistent enough. I think they're definitely going to have losses at, say, USC and Wisconsin that are going to take them below that 7.5 threshold.
I am going to take the over.
Fantastic.
And say 10 wins.
Oh,
maybe even 11. I could see us looking back at the end of the year and that only loss being Ohio State.
Wow. All right. I like it. I like the take.
Brett Bielema knows how to coach the Big Ten.
All right. We'll see. We'll see at the end of the year.
Next up, Indiana. Over under 8.5. They are playing Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Michigan State, UCLA, Wisconsin, at Purdue, at Iowa, at Oregon, at Maryland, at Penn State. They'd better pray to God they win more than 8.5 games this year.
Yeah.
I'm taking the under.
Yeah. I'm Bet the under like crazy because, frankly, I think teams will also be out to get them as well, purely because Curt Cignetti thinks he's all talk. So despite their good season last year, I don't think that they can manage 8.5 wins.
No, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they lose every road game and then also to Illinois, Michigan State, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, agreed.
Next up, Iowa. They're playing, or over under set at 7.5 wins. They are playing Albany, UMass, Indiana, Minnesota, Michigan State, at Iowa State, at Rutgers, at Wisco, Penn State, Oregon, at USC, and at Nebraska. Ciarnan, over under 7.5.
Oh, over, and I'll tell you why. That defense is going to carry them to that 8th win. I think it's as stout as ever, and the fact that Brian Ferentz is no longer coaching there, I think will make it a hell of a lot easier to generate any sort of forward momentum past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and on top of that, outside of COVID, Iowa has gotten 8 wins every year since 2014.
Yeah,
it's
more than doable. It's more.
Yeah, I think it's what you said. That defense will carry them like a regular Iowa football season.
Yeah, it's no different. It's just that you actually have a competent person at the helm of the offense, or even semi-competent. You don't even need them to be good. You just need them to be better than Brian Ferentz.
I would say they need an offensive coordinator who has a room temperature IQ.
Yes.
That's what they need, and hopefully they got it. Hopefully they did not get
somebody
worse.
who has a pulse.
Yes. Next up, Maryland, over under 4.5. FAU, Northern Illinois, Towson, Washington, Nebraska, Indiana, at Wisco, at UCLA, at Rutgers, at Illinois, Michigan, and Michigan State. Ugh.
Yeah, it's tough.
Over. I have faith in Mike Loxley.
Yeah, I was struggling there, but yeah, I think they get to 5. I don't know. I suspect they'll beat Rutgers. They could be a weird upset with UCLA or Michigan State to get them to 6, but like I have confidence that they can get to 5 wins.
That non-conference is not great. FAU, Northern Illinois, Towson,
yeah.
Hopefully they can get to that.
You got to win those.
Yeah. Next up, Michigan, over under 8.5. Is there a bounce back here in New Mexico, Central Michigan, Wisco, Washington, at Michigan State, Purdue, at Northwestern, at Maryland, at Oklahoma, at Nebraska, at USC, and Ohio State? Over under 8.5.
I'm going to give them the over. I think they can certainly beat even a good Nebraska team. They would probably struggle at USC, and hopefully they can repeat last year since they're playing at home against Ohio State. Michigan always plays better against Ohio State. It's just a simple fact. Those games are great to watch, and especially given the fact that it's in Ann Arbor this year, I think they get the over 8.5 wins.
Yeah, I think Sherrone Moore got to 8 wins with all the uncertainty surrounding the program, taking over for Harbaugh. Are we going to get suspended? Are we going to be getting penalties and punishments for what Connor Stallions did that we knew nothing about, allegedly, quote unquote? It's not a quote. Don't ever say that I quoted him directly because I will get sued. So I think another year under his belt, a little more certainty towards what their punishment will potentially be is going to make them play a little bit tighter, a little better. Also, if Bryce Underwood comes in right away and looks decent, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also, you can just in Sharpie write in a W against Ohio State. So
nice. That's confidence right there.
Next up, Michigan State, over under 5.5. Western Michigan, Boston College, Youngstown State, UCLA, Maryland, at USC, at Nebraska, at Indiana, Michigan, at Minnesota, Penn State, and at Iowa. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go the over, but just like 6 wins.
Yeah. I'm going to go the opposite direction. I think a Boston College, a UCLA, or a Maryland can certainly surprise us. The only game I think that will be to UCLA or to Michigan State's benefit is the UCLA game, and that's only if it's played late in the season, because it's at Michigan State, which means it's freezing cold, which means that their players are more acclimated to the weather, and yes, it makes a difference. So that will be a teetering on the over under there. That's the 5.5, I think. So I'm gonna go with the under though.
I like how we're both like, yeah, that's pretty accurate actually, but just a little bit off.
Yeah. It's enticing. It's enticing is what it is.
Someone's going to make a lot of money and someone's going to lose a lot of money on that line. Next up, Minnesota, Buffalo. Over under 6.5 wins, playing Buffalo, Northwestern State, Rutgers, Purdue, Nebraska, Michigan State, at Northwestern, Wisconsin, at Cal, at Ohio State, at Iowa, and at Oregon. Reminder, Northwestern State is a school in Louisiana, and then they're also playing Northwestern in Chicago. Ciarnan, over under 6.5.
Give me the over. I think PJ Fleck is a great coach. I think he has made that program at very least consistent. And I have no doubt that those potential losses all away are not going to be as impactful, I think, for the remainder of the season. So I think I think a win at Cal is more than likely. I think a win at Iowa is possible, but it's that's one of those ones where the defense is going to play the most impact to that game. So I think over 6.5 wins.
I agree. I think PJ Fleck, I know he was making news for some wrong reasons a couple years ago, but I think Minnesota players play hard for him, the ones who are there. And yeah, I agree. I think the over. Nothing crazy. I don't think they're going to go on some Cinderella run, but I think 6.5 wins is a comfortable line to hit. Next up, Nebraska. Over under 7.5. Playing Cincinnati, Akron, Houston Christian, Michigan, Michigan State, Northwestern, USC, Iowa, at Maryland, at Minnesota, at UCLA, and at Penn State. Give me the this one's tough. Give me the over. I think I was very high on Matt Rule a couple weeks ago, so give me the over. Year 3 is when Matt Rule starts getting it done, putting it together for his teams. Nebraska, watch out. They're going to be a fun, dangerous team to watch this year.
I do hope they get back to winning ways, because it is fun to have a blue blood program like that can really, annoy some of the higher seeded teams in the conference. I really want to say the over, but I think there's going to be a small collapse just when it's needed most, and give me the under. Just give me 7 wins. That's all they get.
That's fair. I don't know. I have faith in Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola for some reason. I don't know why I have any faith in him.
Yeah.
Next
well,
up,
it's one of those things. If he does well, come the first 3 weeks, he'll probably continue to the rest of the season. But if he falters at all, I think the confidence will shake him a little.
That's fair. Next up, Northwestern, over under 3.5 wins. Ciarnan, do I even have to read their schedule?
No. Under.
All right. I will anyway for the people at home.
Yeah.
Western Illinois, UCLA, Louisiana Monroe, Purdue, at Tulane, Oregon, at Penn State, at Nebraska, at USC, Michigan, Minnesota, at Illinois. Give me the under.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody's in real doubt.
No. That's why I want.
Well, apparently CBS is, actually, because they bet the over.
Ciarnan, this is AI slop.
Sorry. Yes, I do know that.
I hate this, but it has all the games. It has an over underline, so that's what we're going with. Next up, this is where the good teams are, the teams that are expected to be good. Then followed by probably someone at the bottom who's not good. Ohio State, 10.5 wins. Of course, my computer crashes out real quick. Ohio State over under 10.5. Playing Grambling, Ohio, at Washington, Minnesota, at Illinois, at Wisconsin, Penn State, at Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, at Michigan, and Texas. Kato, what do you think?
Under. That team is going to collapse under Ryan Day. You've won a national championship. Everyone's going to get complacent. You no longer have Chip Kelly calling the offense. You're done.
Yeah, my thing is Ryan Day is calling the offense again. It's the under.
They'll still make it into the playoffs, but it'll be the under.
Oh, yeah. 100%. They could win 9, maybe even 8 games, depending on the losses, and still make the playoffs because it's a big name program. Next up, Oregon. Play over under 10.5. They're playing Montana State, Oklahoma State, at Northwestern, Oregon State, Indiana, at Rutgers, Wisco, at Iowa, Minnesota, USC, at Washington, and at Penn State. Give me the over, but not going to win the Natty.
Okay, I like it. Give me the over as well. I don't think there's a reason they lose a game. Regular season. Genuinely. They looked incredible last year. They completely, shat the bed against Ohio State, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah.
That's what Oregon does, baby.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any reason why they can't win every single game this year.
Fair. Next up, Ciarnan, Penn State, Nittany Lions, over under 10.5 wins, playing Nevada, FIU, Nova, Oregon, at UCLA, Northwestern, at Iowa, Indiana, at Michigan State, Nebraska, at Rutgers, and at Ohio State.
Can I abstain? Because I feel like if whatever I say, they're going to do the opposite. Actually, no. If I say the over, they're going to go the under, and if they go the under, they're going to go even further down.
That's true. Canada, do you want to abstain? Do you just want to pack it up?
Damn it! No, I'm gonna make a commitment. Over. I'm going over. We have to.
I agree with you.
Yes.
That is usually a bad sign, Kieran.
It is a bad sign. Oh,
but
God.
Drew Aller is coming back. He looked good, still showed some of the issues he showed previously, but really buttoned a lot of them up. Expect that to continue. Poaching Jim Knowles from Ohio State is a big deal. We're keeping a lot of guys from last year on the roster. And in this instance, it's a good thing because their team was good, unlike Texas A&M last week. So, yeah, give me the over for Penn State. Maybe they'll even get that Ohio State monkey off their back.
Oh, please.
All right, here's the bad teams now, and the West Coast teams who are also bad. Purdue, over under 3.5. They're playing Ball State, Southern Illinois, Rutgers, USC, at Notre Dame, Illinois, at Minnesota, at Northwestern, at Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington, and Indiana. Kieran, over under 3.5.
Give me the over. I think at home against Indiana, they can certainly pull off a W there against Illinois, frankly, as well. Northwestern, basically anybody can beat them. So yeah, give me over 4.5, over 3.5. Excuse me.
I don't see any conference game or any non-conference game that they could lose because it's Ball State and Southern Illinois. They should win those. Rutgers is the only conference game I could comfortably say, yeah, they'll probably win that. Northwestern, who knows? Purdue might just fall apart. And then USC at true. Notre Dame, Illinois. Oh, at Notre Dame. That's also non-conference because Notre Dame's weird. At Minnesota, at Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington, and Indiana. I could see Purdue losing all of those badly. Give me the under.
All right. Nice.
Next up, Rutgers. Over under 5.5 wins. They're playing Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Norfolk State, Iowa, Maryland, at Minnesota, at Washington, Oregon, at Purdue, at Illinois, at Ohio State, and Penn State. What are we feeling, Ciarnan?
I'm the under. They're going to get 5 wins, but not more than that.
I'm going to take the over.
Oh, all right.
They've had a winning record the last 2 years, which is weird for Rutgers. They have a quarterback coming back who looked good last year in Athan Kaliakmanis. It'll take some luck on their part. They'll have to. I mean, I could see them beating Purdue easily. Minnesota always drops a game like this. There are situations where it's not likely. They will need some luck, a little help, maybe some New Jersey Catholics praying to God to get their Rutgers Scarlet Knights another win. But I think they have enough of those, and I think they're going to go over. I say weird things on this podcast. Have you noticed that?
No, I don't think they're weird. Okay. I think they're very reasonable for the school that you're talking about.
That's true. Next up, UCLA, over under 4.5 wins. They are playing at UNLV, New Mexico, Maryland, Nebraska, Washington, Utah, at Northwestern, Penn State, at Michigan State, at Indiana, at Ohio State, and at USC. Ciarnan, over under 4.5 wins.
I'm going to go with the over. I think there's a game somewhere in there, possibly Utah, probably at Northwestern, that they'll pick up. I'm confident that they can get over 4.5 wins.
I'm going back and forth. I think I'm also going to go with the over. Obviously, a loss to UNLV early on in the season, but I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, it's one of those. They're one of those weird teams that they're either like really good and will go, 8, 9, possibly even 10 wins, or they're straight up terrible. I think it really depends on how their schedule plays out. I feel like if they're playing, if they're playing like the Nebraska, say Ohio State, USC, and Penn State like early on in the season, which of course they're not, but if they were, I feel like, maybe they'll win a game or two there, and that will be the confidence they need to take that through the rest of the season. But if they're playing UNLV, New Mexico, Utah all at the beginning of the season, and they take at least 2 or 3 L's there, it's the whole season will unravel.
Agreed. That's fair. Staying in Southern California, moving on to USC, over under 7.5 wins. They're playing Missouri State, Georgia Southern, at Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan, Northwestern, Iowa, UCLA, at Illinois, at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, and at Oregon. Give me the under. USC has not gotten 8 wins or more really that often in the past couple of years. They don't do it under Lincoln Riley. And Lincoln, you're in the Big Ten now. You're going to need to know how to play defense. His teams have shown a stark inability to do that every year, going from Oklahoma even to Southern California. Give me the under. And is Lincoln Riley coaching for his job?
Oh, that's a good one. He's a possible hot seat this year, certainly. Yeah, you're absolutely right about the defense thing. You cannot be playing the likes of Michigan and Iowa with you can play Iowa with no defense because they couldn't run past the 2-yard line. But you're not playing again, Notre Dame, not really part of the conference, but it's a school that's certainly in the Big Ten area that they know how to play. They lost the final last year. So they have a good team, especially under Marcus Freeman. They have got to play some style of defense that at least prevents them from the score running away from them, is basically how they just need to keep it within a reasonable chunk, say a touchdown, a field goal, something like that, to make anything close to that 7.5 wins a reality. Give me the under.
100%. I think also that USC Iowa game is either going to be the greatest game of football that we have
That's
ever
so
seen,
true. Yeah,
or
that's so
absolute disgusting filth that makes me throw up.
Yeah, it's going to be one to
No
watch
in
out
between.
for certain.
It's
Yeah.
either weirdly going to be like a 45-40 final score,
Yeah,
or 2-0
yeah, 2-0
somehow.
A safety 2.5 minutes in by the Iowa defense.
Yeah, it can't wait. I love college football. It's so stupid. Next up, the Washington Huskies. Over under 7.5 wins. They're playing Colorado State, UC Davis, at Washington State, Rutgers, Illinois, Purdue, Ohio State, at Maryland, at Michigan, at Wisconsin, at UCLA, and Oregon. Over under 7.5, Kieran.
I don't want to do this to them, but I'm gonna have to go with the under. They're going to be right there though. They're going to be it's going to be tantalizingly close. They're going to lose a couple of close games by like a field goal or something stupid. And they're just going to miss the 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the under. They did lose their defense coordinator to Bill Belichick at UNC because of that relationship there. He was fine at Washington, wasn't great, but I do think this travel is still going to be weighing on these West Coast teams.
It's true.
To a bigger extent because they're going to have to travel more off a longer distance more often than the teams in the traditional Big Ten. So I'm not going to give any of these West Coast teams, except for Oregon, because they clearly showed they did not care, the benefit of the doubt until I see it. So give me the under. Next up, Wisconsin, over under 5.5. They're playing Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee, Maryland, Iowa, Washington, at Alabama, at Michigan, Ohio State, at Oregon, at Indiana, Illinois, and at Minnesota. Give me the under. I think Luke Fickell is going to be out of a job soon. I just get a feeling Wisconsin not back, and they are going to struggle with this schedule.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, when you're playing the likes of Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon all in one season, those are 4 losses. I'm sorry, like minimum 4 losses, let alone any of the other games, because those teams are going to run you over, steamroll you. So unless a miracle happens, I cannot see Wisconsin going over 5 wins. Give me the under.
All right, there's our win totals for this conference. Candid, who do you have winning the Big Ten?
Oregon.
Oh,
yeah. Why? Oh, that's a very reasonable pick.
I don't know. I pick with my heart every time. So whenever we're talking about the SEC, I pick Alabama.
All right,
I just kind of assumed you would do the same.
No, I'm a realist.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fine. You know what, Kieran? I'll have hope for you. Give me Penn State.
Awesome.
They're going to get these big game struggles off their backs. They're going to further drive home the point that James Franklin is good. He's a good coach. He's a good man, Savannah. And Penn State is back, Kieran.
I hope so. I'm hoping. That's the thing that kills you, is the hope.
I thought the thing that would kill me would be the liquor consumption, but
okay, well, maybe there's that too.
Yeah. No, I just thought Curt Cignetti again.
Yep.
All right. That is our show. Everyone have a good, safe, fun rest of your week and weekend. Remember, mute the words Indiana, Curt, and Cignetti on Twitter just to be safe, so you don't have to get your stomach pumped. Karen, any other thoughts?
No, it's just that football as a whole coming back in a little over a week. So pumped about that. College football, what we're here for, starting up in a little over a month. So excited. Ready to go. I hope you guys are all too. It's going to be a fun season.
Damn right. Maybe we'll even do some live shows, Karen.
Gasp. No.
We might start doing some, in the words of Bill O'Reilly, F it, we'll do it live.
Perfect.
We'll figure that out, though. Again, everyone have a good, safe, fun rest of your week.
Enjoy.
They're eating the dogs, Kieran, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the
you know
dog.
that?
They were
They're
eating the dog.
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years, and just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
And we're also sorry that you have to watch a Brian Kelly coach football team. We can only imagine how difficult that must be for you, knowing that you're not going to win a big game ever with him as your coach, and that you're rooting for a child murderer.
This podcast has gone off to a really weird start, but I like it.
I love it, though. I'm a big fan.